everyone, welcome to Raw Sound Entertainment's review of Rolling Stone Magazine's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. Today we will be tackling Bonnie Raitt's Give It Up. So if you do listen to this video, I would suggest that you listen to the album before you do, because it would be a lot more interesting and the things that we would say would make more sense. Now, we are going to try to make the video as entertaining as possible if you didn't, so do stick around if you don't feel like listening to it as well. Also, we have an official Twitter that you can follow, and if you have anything to share with us, it's hashtag 500greatest is the hashtag to let us know. So, my name is Sam.
And I'm Marshall.
And we will be your co-hosts today to talk about Give It Up by Bonnie Raitt. So, Marshall, tell us a little bit about Bonnie Raitt and this album.
Well, Bonnie Raitt is a sort of, I want to say, blues country. You might even, I don't know, there's a lot of words being thrown around by different people as to what her genre is, and that's probably because her, she does she sort of goes back and forth with her songs, not only in this album, but I'm sure in others. But I would say probably she leans towards country more than blues, and she's from what I know of her, she's pretty influential. She's been around for a while. Releasing albums, and I think she's still, maybe not actively, but maybe not as active as like B.B. King was, but still pretty active to this day in the music scene. This was her second album, Give It Up, and apparently she went to Woodstock to perform this, which kind of gives you the impression that it's going to be very like Woodstocky, but it's not. Don't go into this. I mean, you can go into this album thinking it's going to be Woodstocky, but it really isn't. It's more, well, Rolling Stone calls it folksy blues. Now, I think it's folksy, and it has some folksy blues, but it's also very country. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, I have country, blues, folk, they're all there. All three of them are probably in this album.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the album cover before we forget.
Oh, yes, the album cover.
So, the album art. Reminiscent of Boz Scaggs a little bit with the just picture of the
I like it better
artist.
than Boz Scaggs because
it's a lot nicer.
Colorful.
It is. It's not as boring.
It's perfect for Woodstock, which is what made me think he was going to be about Woodstock.
It does look very hippie-like. It looks very psychedelic, sort of like it's going to be.
I would say psychedelic, but it's colorful. She's in the woods. She has some sort of shawl around her arms. It looks hippie-like. She's got long hair. She looks like she's in the 60s.
Yeah, she's not exactly wearing anything too fancy, no Gucci or any of that kind of stuff. There.
Yeah.
There's no over commercialization or anything there. She's just very simple, very hippie like.
The album itself, I mean it's very, very simple looking. You got the plain blue and the writing just says Bonnie Raitt, Give It Up.
I like the font too for this. It's a very nice
decent font. Yeah, like it's not the fanciest cover in the world. It doesn't have particularly good artwork because it's a picture, but
it almost looks like she wrote it herself. The Bonnie Raitt, Give It Up. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. It looks like handwriting though. It does not look like a font.
You don't think it's a font?
I don't think so. It's too inconsistent.
Yeah, you're right. The N between the O and the N is kind of weird.
It is handwriting, but I
it was probably I don't know if it was her. It might have been a calligraphy artist at Warner Brothers.
Oh, Warner Brothers is the one that Warner Brothers Records, yeah. So they picked her up pretty early. That's surprising because she was not very popular till like her 10th studio album, they said.
Second.
No, but I mean, this is her second, but she wasn't popular until her 10th.
Oh,
like she didn't get radio success until her 10th.
Yeah, so I mean,
I don't know if we'll be seeing that on the list. We said last episode, just real quick, that Boz Scaggs' successful album would be on the list. It's not. Only that album is on the list. I checked it out. There's no Boz Scaggs' 5 times platinum album is not on the list. So
it is not considered that good by the Rolling Stone experts.
I guess we might never see Bonnie Raitt again. Maybe we will. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So let's get into the actual album, the actual meat and potatoes of this video. Let's talk about the songs, what we liked, what we didn't like, and we'll see where we go from there. So, what was your favorite track, Marshall?
It's hard to tell. A lot of very similar tracks. Now,
very
I will say, however, that I went into this thinking I was going to hate it, and I think that made the experience better because I did enjoy some of the tracks. And overall, I'll say I enjoyed the album, but I'd say my favorite track, as weird as the lyrics are, I think I really like "Love Me Like a Man." I don't know why. it's some weird lyrics in there, and I'm not really sure what. I mean, the meaning's kind of strange, but it's just got this very, like, if you're into the folksy blues, which is the point of the album, I thought, this is very folksy. And so I was like, yeah, I got you, girl.
Now, I'd say this album goes in kind of weak. Give It Up or Let It Me Go was probably one of my least favorite songs in the album because it's very country.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of country. And it's very Western, sort of country, really like 60s, 70s country, which is just not my cup of tea. So that was not a very good song. But then the other ones, they got a little bit better. And then Love Me Like a Man was a good song. And then Too Long at the Fair was probably my favorite song on the album. It has some weird religious messages in it, which I think are kind of out of place in such a Woodstock album. Because the hippies weren't known for being super religious. But then she talks about Jesus. I guess it's sort of she's not, I guess, really talking about Jesus. It might be metaphorically talking about Jesus, sort of. But, like, I know a lot of these hippie artists use the word, like, they talked about Jesus, but it wasn't really a deep thing. But she talks about him, and she's like, Jesus will come back or something, and it's like, it's sort of weirdly religious at times, which I thought was, like, it's sort of out of place. But I really like the song because it sounded almost, and this is going to sound like a far stretch, it was almost like, what was his name? Elton John. It almost sounded like Elton John. Which, this might be a far stretch, but, like, the way the lyrics were delivered and everything, and the way that the guitar was, it sounded Elton John. It sounded like it could be an Elton John song.
Which song again?
Too Long at the Fair.
I don't know. That is a stretch.
But then she says, on the highway, like that song by Elton John, the one that he talks about the highway.
I mean, there are some themes in there that are sort of, I
for sure brought me back to Elton
genre.
John. Like, it sounded like Elton John, and then she said highway, and I'm like, whoa.
Bonnie Raitt is no Elton John.
No, I'm not saying she is Elton John. I'm just saying the song very, very similar. Had me thinking of Elton John.
Okay.
It was sort of giving me the same vibes. Under the Falling Sky, I don't even remember that song, so that couldn't have been that good.
I actually kind of liked Under the Falling Sky.
Did you? They were all blending together there at the end. Like, it was just, they're so similar. They're either slow, they're fast, and she has two distinct genres, one that's slow, one that's fast, and she makes all her slow songs the same, all her fast songs the same. That is my opinion. I hate to say it, but they all sound very similar.
Crushed Bonnie Raitt right in the face with that.
Well, I mean, I think she can handle it. She's richer than me.
Oh,
so she's laughing at me now.
Yeah, she's like, ha ha ha, little boy.
Yeah. I like Love Has No Pride, though. That was a good way to end the album, because it sort of had a deeper meaning. All the other songs were pretty straightforward and literal, but Love Has No Pride was pretty deep, I guess, in air quotes.
Hey, we'll say this. She ain't no Elton John, but she also is no Boz Scaggs, so that's...
No. No, it was certainly a step up from Boz Scaggs. I actually didn't mind this album too much. And 36 minutes was the perfect length for it, because if it had gone any longer, I would have for sure had some sort of criticism of it going too long, but this was the perfect length for this sort of shorter end of the stick album.
Oh yeah, the album size I had nothing to complain about.
No.
I would say that also the song sizes, they went through pretty quickly, which is good. Even if I absolutely love the songs, I think that's a good thing most of the time, that they go through at a decent pace, that there's some flow. But I think I was talking with another person about this the other day. Whenever I get into, whenever I'm given expectations about something, and I know this happens to some people to a certain extent, but with me, I think it's such a powerful effect to go into something with an expectation of it, and that will affect how I perceive that media. You know, like, if someone tells me that The Avengers is the best movie in the world, which everyone did, because
right?
I didn't see it on day one. Everyone was like, the fucking Avengers!
I didn't love it that much.
I went into it thinking, this movie's gonna be the shit. And I was like,
Right?
It's not worthy. So, like, if I went into it going, they're like, yeah, it's pretty good for a superhero movie, and I went in, I'd be like, yeah, this is really good. But I went in thinking, this is gonna be the best movie ever. And so like I went into this album thinking, and I came out with a generally positive experience. It's not gonna make me love the album, but it's gonna make the album more pleasurable to me on a musical level. And so I think it's very important for me as a person to go into things with low expectations, and that way I can maximize my experience from it.
Now, will you listen to this album again?
Probably not. But if someone said, "What's your favorite female blues album from Woodstock?"
Please name another one.
I would say, "Give It Up."
Now, what's your second choice on that there, Marshall? Second female blues artist from Woodstock, please.
Oh, probably like, there's
Right?
Cheyenne Cody. You don't know. They didn't record all the artists. They were playing all over the freaking place.
Cheyenne Cody. Yeah, she was good. Yeah.
Her song, I'm Bluesy.
Okay.
And she did a Christmas cover album.
Oh, no. There's actually a Christmas album in the 500. So
I have no doubt.
Yeah.
There are some good Christmas albums. It'd be perfect if that lined up with Christmas.
Wouldn't that be just perfect?
What number is it?
That's way down the list, so we're not gonna get there for
maybe
like
it'll
another
line
year.
up with next Christmas.
Maybe it will. I mean, we could hope. Christmas 2016.
Yeah.
That could be a great gift.
That would be awesome.
So let's wrap it up. It's gonna be a nice short review here. Let's talk about our final thoughts here. So for me, I'll score it first. Bonnie Raitt gave a decent album, something that I was able to enjoy in moderation. I'm never gonna listen to it again. I'm sorry, Bonnie, but it's just not my cup of tea. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10, right in the middle. I thought it was average.
Mm-hmm. I am going to agree with you this time for the first time since what was
Aquemini.
Aquemini.
No,
yeah.
It would have been the White Stripes. We both really liked that one.
Yes. Anyway, but yes, I'm gonna also give it a 5 out of 10. It was average. I went into it. If I went into it with any thought that it was gonna be good, I'd probably be giving it a 4 out of 10 right now. but my lowered expectations boosted it up in my head, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm probably never going to seek it out again. But if it's playing on the radio, I'll be like, "Hey, that's Bonnie Raitt."
Wow, you're gonna be that guy. I know that song.
Yeah, I am that guy. It's always playing on the radio. I call that shit out. I'm like, hey, that's...
You're a good man, Marshall. You're a good man. All right. 494. Our next album on this list is going to be... In 2 days, we are going to be reviewing MGMT, Oracular Spectacular. And I'm pretty excited. Personally, I only know one song from this album, which was the big radio hit, Kids. But... I really like that song, so I'm excited to hear more from these guys. I heard they're really good. Do you know anything about them, Marshall?
Oh my gosh, I don't know anything. But they are... One exciting thing about this is, like we said, starting this series out, the cutoff date for albums on this list is 2009, I believe. So this is probably going to be one of the most recent albums we'll see on the list. We're not going to get a lot of really... This is about as recent as it gets, We're not getting 2011, 2012, this year's albums. So this is about as recent as it gets, so that should be refreshing. And... I have heard good things. I'm excited for the most part. I expect some crazy stuff. The description on Rolling Stone really gets me hyped up.
Two hipster geeks get some vintage keyboards and compose a suite of synthesized heartaches. You don't have to figure out a word of kids to feel the poignant kick of the massive keyboard hook.
In other words, it's incredibly hard to hear their lyrics.
Yeah, but it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, should be good. The cover art also, I'm really excited to review that.
Awesome font. Don't get me started on that font. We'll talk about it next time. Thank you so much for watching. Twitter in the description. Hashtag 500greatest if you listen to the album. Make sure to tweet at that. Tweet at our Twitter as well if you want to get in contact with us. We'd be happy to talk to anybody. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. You guys can listen to MGMT Oracular Spectacular to be ready for next episode. That would be, if you do that, you are one of the best viewers ever. Just gonna put that out there. So thanks for watching. I guess we'll see you next time.